Hey, this is just a quick video on the courses tab of RTOPilot. So when you jump into this course tab here, essentially what you can do is create new courses. You can share your course page and you can also edit courses that you've already created. So what is a course? In RTOPilot, a course is sort of like the template for the type of training you're going to be running. It stores all of the standard settings that you run across a particular course. So things like the pricing, the units you run, the LLN requirements as well. So things that are going to be the same regardless of the session details of an actual class. So from there, the classes actually sit underneath the course where you have the actual scheduled training that has its own date and its own location, its own trainer and students as well. So for example, you've got a first aid course, which has a really common pricing, a really common set of units, your first aid and your CPR units, really common LLN requirement as well. And then you have individual instances of classes underneath that. So now that we've got the terminology out of the way, how do you actually sort of use this section here? So what you need to do, if you're creating a new course, it's really easy. You just need to click on this new course tab on the right here. That will open up a section where you can add all the information for the course that you want to have. So here you can create a name. So I'm just using a first aid example here. You can set the pricing that is going to be common across the board, noting that this can really easily be changed when you actually create a specific instance of a class. Then you can add the delivery method. Is it in person, online, or mixed? If you're running an expensive course and you want to have just a deposit, you can do that here as well. If you don't want a deposit, you want the student to pay the whole thing up front, then just leave that as blank. If you've got any online learning, you can add that here. I'm going to add the first aid pre-learning. The description is what you're basically going to have show up on your course templates. So, I've just got an example here of learn first aid. You probably want to have it a bit more creative than that. These notes are things that are going to be associated with this class. So when students enroll, they will be able to see these notes on their student portal, and they'll also be sent to the student when you have reminders. So for first aid, a common one might be kneeling is required for this training. Here we've got the enrollment quotas. If you've got a minimum age for a particular class, you can have that here. If you've got different student quotas, so what's your minimum, maximum numbers? The minimum is not necessary. It's just as a reminder, you'll get notified if you haven't reached your minimum. The maximum is definitive, so you can't actually enroll more than that. The enrollment cutoff, this is when you want students to have the ability to enroll. It can be within 2 weeks after or 2 weeks before. And essentially what that means is that students can jump on your website and enroll and sign up when you set this enrollment cutoff at. You've got the competent certificates that you want to issue when a student is marked competent, and then the certificates you wish to issue when the student is marked not competent as well. So these are not necessary. If you do have any units, so if I do the first aid unit, and it is a vet unit, then you must have a statement of attainment for the competent certificate. You can enable wallet cards here as well. So if you've got a wallet card printer or whatnot, you can allow that as well. Here you can select the LLN requirements based on what you see fit for those particular units. And then basically you can add a cover photo here, which is going to show up on your enrollment page. Any add-ons here. So if you've got things that are commonly sold alongside a particular course, for this example, it might be a first aid booklet. You might have a WorkSafe license for, high risk training, or a mask or something associated with particular different types of training as well. Here you can add checklist items that need to be checked off for each class. That can be customizable based on the things that you need to do before you consider a class completely done. Once you've completed all that information, if you're ready for your students to be able to enroll or inquire about the class, you can basically click publish here. This will mean that it will be readily available on your enrollment page once you save it. If you leave it as unpublished, then you can keep making tweaks and edits without students being able to see that. So for this example, I'm just going to click publish here. And if I go to save, then now the course is saved and all of the information that we just added there is ready to go. So here, as I mentioned before, we haven't created any classes, but that's going to be the next step. If we go in and create classes, it'll now pre-populate with that information from the course template, which we just created. So once you're done creating your courses and you've got classes ready to share, what you can basically do in this actual courses page is share the enrollment page. So if you click on that, you get a URL here. This URL can be shared with students so they can see all of the courses that you've got upcoming, and they can find a class that works best for them. So we can see here, this is the one that I just created as sort of like a fake one because there is no classes yet in there. There's no available classes, but if I do one which already has a bunch of classes in here, then the students can find a class that works best for them, either by filtering down by location or filtering down by date, and then they can just enroll and add their details. That kind of covers the course page. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. Always happy to help.